nation is running on the fumes of the great success of the Trump administration. And if we're not elected, we will have a depression, the likes of which you haven't seen since the Depression of 1929.
Very strong when looking at the GDP. It shows the economy growing at the fastest pace since 2021.
And as the holiday shopping season enters the home stretch, people seem to be feeling pretty jolly about the economy. The Consumer Confidence Index rose to more than 110 points. That's the highest number since July.
I'm excited, Larry. We got the juice in printing money. We've got the Fed slowing down. We've got the soft landing. This is a fantastic holiday season.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
One thing for Fox to have someone on to level the playing field. Say something truthful for once to avoid 700+ million in payouts.
Because a lot of us feel like there is a lot of good economic news. Manufacturing jobs in my home state of Ohio, booming right now because of policies that the Biden administration put into place.
But it's another to have on a literal Shark Tank host who lives, breathes, and exploits based on how the economy is working, for him to heap unwavering praise on the Biden administration. This undoubtedly merits the slowest of slow zooms, because I do think he's close to tears. That, or he's trying to pay attention while being yelled at to cut to break.
On the stock market front, interest rates falling, stocks rising. We got a record high this week. In fact, the Dow is up 1,000 points or so this week. And now the question is the Fed panicking? All right, let's ask the great Kevin O'Leary, chairman of O'Leary Ventures, Shark Tank investor, author of Cold Hard Truth on business, money, and life. So, Kevin, an interesting turn of events in the last few weeks, with bond yields falling quite a lot, stocks rising quite a lot, and the Fed yesterday, or the Fed on Wednesday, kind of sort of threw in the towel on the inflation fight. And now the market, in its wisdom, is suggesting, 5, 6, or even 7 Federal Reserve policy rate cuts, which strikes me as irrationally exuberant. But the question is, what do you think about this story?
There's one thing you can say about the Biden administration. It's that they inherited a train wreck of an economy and stabilized it. There's no other way to put it, unless you're, of course, a Fox News host. But then again, it leaves you susceptible to that little thing called the truth.
I will tell you, on every measure, from the economy, inflation, borders, energy, national security, he's missing in action.
Let's talk about them in order.
Hang on.
I want to challenge the premise. You said the economy, 13.1 million jobs he's created. Your president, Donald Trump, lost 2.6 million jobs during his 4 years. We've created 13.1 million. Fine, you can maintain a COVID frame. How about the fact that Joe Biden's created more jobs, 6 times more jobs, than the previous 3 Republican presidents combined?
Everything from jobs to GDP to the stock market, it's all been trending in the right direction. So as a result, Republicans have clung to their last slither of hope. That inflation thing that is an international issue, but sure, let's say it was fully on Biden's shoulders. Well, watch what happens when this Shark Tank host and billionaire Kevin O'Leary discuss the economy, particularly inflation, on Fox Business.
Look now, folks, but Joe Biden has been bragging about the stock market. And I got to tell you, this has a lot of folks working, including the people over at Sentiment Trader. Take a look at this chart they posted, right? Because not long ago, Joe Biden said the stock market's gone up exponentially since I've been president. Then he said the stock market has hit a new record, which brings me to the fact that all of these programs, all of these things that it's done in the name of the middle class and the poor, all of this cash, it always finds its way back into 2 things, the stock market and the pockets of the ultra wealthy. So be careful out there.
I'm excited, Larry. We got the juice in printing money. We've got the Fed slowing down. We've got the soft landing. We've got broadening of the S&P 500 and the S&P 500. And obviously the Russell 2000. This is a fantastic holiday season. Rudolph the reindeer has arrived.
And let's elaborate on some things, shall we? In November, inflation in the United States dropped beyond expectations, while consumer spending increased, and further signs that the US economy is heading for a, quote, soft landing, as inflation tracks towards the Federal Reserve's 2% annual target, and is likely to drop below it. Personal incomes also grew by 0.2% in November, while consumer spending grew by 0.3%. All the positive economic indicators have contributed to increased consumer confidence and a more optimistic outlook for the future. The Federal Reserve recently stated that interest rate cuts are on the way also, hence why you see the stock market making record gains. So in layman's terms, after all of that, what does it mean? It means they can't migrant caravan their way through inflation anymore.
Greg said, everything is terrible. I mean, they released the numbers. Border crossings have plummeted. So we've never seen so many people that are going to be streaming across the border. Where did they all go?
They're just counting
Where's
it
the next caravan?
They're counting it differently.
Like one toe instead of all 10
No, they're
toes?
just counting it differently. It's what they do. They fudge
That's what they do. Everything is
you're
the
wrong.
victimization of the perspective of conservatives. Whether it's what's going on with the DOJ and the whistleblowers, we count border crossings differently. We look at the crime statistics. Well, they're measuring it differently.
They did.
Okay. Anyway, we talked about this last week or the week before about the economic record, and I'm not going to rehash all of it. I am just going to add that this week now, Goldman Sachs and Jim Cramer both saying, clear as day, we're not going to have this recession. It's like the red wave that never came, right? Everyone's
Jim Cramer said there's going to be no recession?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, okay, Goldman Sachs.
Pull your money out of the market.
No, I'm talking about people who were fear-mongering about it and are now admitting that we're not going to have it. So we have the lowest inflation and the best GDP growth in the G7. We're not going to have a recession. You have Republicans taking credit for infrastructure projects that they voted against that Biden got for them. And you want to say that everything is in the toilet? I don't think so.
And voters need to know this. So while Republicans will downplay it and bend themselves here, there, and everywhere to minimize growth.
The nation is running on the fumes of the great success of the Trump administration. They're just running on the fumes of what we did with the tax cuts and the regulation cuts. Without us, this thing would have crashed to levels never seen before. And if we're not elected, we will have a depression.
Meanwhile, economist Harry Dent is making a dire prediction about the market next year. He says 2024 is going to bring, and I'm quoting him now, the biggest crash of our lifetime.
Well, Larry, whose job is literally to study the market, outlined just how beneficial this is for the American people.
And in positive news for workers, this report is expected to show that wages are outpacing inflation. In other words, on average, American salaries are going up at a faster pace than the prices that they pay. Guys?
Now, and Rahel, like I said, this is the gift that keeps on giving. The story of 2023 is an economy that just stayed strong.
Yeah, John, it's the story of 2023. It's the story of 2022 because, as you pointed out, this is the 35th month of job growth. So this is the gift that's been giving for almost 3 years now.
Thanks so much for watching. We're only a few subscribers short of 2 million subs. Please subscribe right now to the MeidasTouch YouTube channel for free and help us grow this unapologetically pro-democracy network.